Hello and welcome back. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make those shiny glowing lines that you see everywhere that are really pretty cool, and obviously you want to know how to do it, and that's why you're watching this video. Um, I'm just going to do it. The first thing that I always like to do is make a copy of my background layer, so I'm just going to drag that into my new layers down here, and I'm going to make my background layer invisible. I'm going to double click on the name here and call it main, because that's my main image. I'm going to make another layer, and this layer I will use later. And I'm just going to call it line 1. And that's obviously going to be the layer that we use to draw our shining glowing line, at least the first one. You're going to need a new layer for each line that you make if you want to be able to adjust them separately. But and I like to make this layer because you can go ahead and leave this layer selected now, and you don't have to remember to select it later. So the first thing that I want to do is click on my brush. And you want to make sure that you have a pretty hard, small brush. So I'm going to click number 5, 100% hardness. And you could certainly make your path and use this brush for your glowing lines, but I'm going to choose a little bit of a different one because I like the way that the effect is. So you can either press B on your keyboard, or you can select the brushes panel up here. And I'm going to click on this little arrow, and I'm going to go down to my calligraphy brushes, and I'm going to press OK. I'm going to use this 28 pixel calligraphy brush straight up and down. I like the way that one looks pretty good. So I'm going to use that. I'll click off of it, and I'm going to go to my brushes toggle over here. Or if it's not here, go to Window, and then Brush. And then that'll open up your brushes toggle. And what we're going to do is pretty much don't change any of these. We're just going to make sure that our control here is set to pin pressure. Otherwise, it won't look the greatest. You can mess around with these. I urge you to do that. Okay. Then the next thing that we do is we can select our pen tool, which is right here, or you can press P on your keyboard, and you want to make sure that this is selected so that it's your paths pen tool and not your shape pen tool, so that you can just select a path pretty much. And then we make our path that we want. And this is why we made that first layer, because we want to do it on that layer that we made over there. And I'm just going to go ahead and envelop her whole body in these lines. And you can choose however you want to do this. Wherever you want to do this is fine. Okay. Something kind of like that should be pretty good. Okay, then the next thing that you do once you have your selection is you right click on it and click Stroke Path. You want this stroke set to brush, and you want the Simulate Pressure checkbox checked. And we'll press OK. And we'll make something like this. If you want that line a little smaller, you can certainly adjust your brush size to make it a little smaller, or you can just do smaller areas and you'll get more of an area like this, which will look pretty good. But do mess around with your brush sizes if you think this is too large. The next thing that we're going to do is double click on our line 1 layer here, and we're going to go to Outer Glow, and we're going to put it in outer glow on it, and we're going to choose whatever your favorite color is. My favorite color is green, so I'm going to choose kind of let's choose kind of a medium green there, and we're going to change the size and the spread, and that's what's really going to make this change. And you can certainly mess with this on your own. If you make it too much, then it might not look right, or maybe you want that effect. But in any case, all these things are going to do something a little differently, so keep that in mind. And I do urge you to mess around with these settings too. Once again, messing around is kind of the name of the game. The other thing that I want to do in here is do a drop shadow, and it's going to be more of like a highlight. What we'll do is we'll do a lighter color of green, and we'll select that, and you can mess around with these settings as well. It just adds another little area of depth to your image, and you can prove it to yourself if it's really doing what you want simply by pressing OK here. And then what you'll do is you can just click on this drop shadow here, and you can, when you click on and click off, if it doesn't do enough for you, then you can kind of change your settings. Maybe you change this to a normal lighting and change the opacity down to 12 or so, and you can see kind of what that does. And also I'll go ahead and leave it like that. And let's go ahead and actually make the opacity down a little farther, because that's pretty strong. It's taking a... And let's change the color a little bit. Okay, something like that should be pretty good. I'm going to stick with that. Then simply the next thing you do is... oh, actually, I want to show you one more thing with that. So we'll open up our blending styles there. And if you want to save your styles here, you can click on New Style and name it Glow Lines. And just click on these two checkboxes if you want, and that should save your style. And you can use that, at a later time if you want. Okay, I just wanted to show you that because it's kind of handy. Okay, the next thing that you do is I like to hide the styles just by clicking that arrow. Next thing I want you to do is make a clipping mask, and you'll just click this box down here to make your clipping mask, or your mask. It's not a clipping mask. You have to clip it yourself. Then the next thing that I want you to do is take your brush, or you could take your eraser, and just erase this line away. And if you're using a brush, you just use a black brush. If you're using the eraser, you use a white eraser. I'll just use a black brush, and you just erase the area that you don't want seen. You see I already made a mistake there, because you're going to see this. If you press X on your keyboard, it switches back between the color or the white and the black color in your palette there, which will either erase or not. Okay, and I'm just going to obviously do a real quick kind of job here, just so you can kind of see. I'm going to make my brush a little bigger. And we'll just go like this. You get the idea anyway, and you just pretty much what you do is you erase the areas that you don't want, or that you don't want seen, and just keep the areas that you do, pretty much. Okay, just do a little bit there. And then after you do that, you can go ahead and click on something else if you want, or not, it's fine. And you can just delete that path by pressing backspace, and that guideline will go away. And you certainly don't really need that anymore if you don't want. This is a real rough kind of pencil or eraser job on this, but you can see kind of how you would do that. So anyway, that's it for this tutorial. You can obviously make many, many more of these lines if you wanted to make these lines go around your arm. Great. Or if you wanted them just in the background, great. Coming off from outside the picture, something like that would also great. But anyway, like I said, that's about it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. And please come again, subscribe, tell your friends. Thank you very much.